Hi friends, welcome back or to the channel. So I got some time to kill because I'm waiting on a radiator for that, so I can pretty much button up the cooling system and then run it long enough to actually time it and all that fancy shit. So I got back to building trophies for the car show. I got one built yesterday, and I'm pretty sure my welder's dying, and it's had a rough life. I've used the dog shit out of it, but it's just a little Century 110, sorry, 120, whatever. And I've put it through hell in the 10 years I've had it, 10 or so. So went down to the Harbor Freight today, and I picked up a new one. Flux 125. This, on paper, is exactly the same as the one I currently have, just obviously a different color. First thing I need to do is get rid of this shitty clamp, because these things never last very long. Some people say they're great. Some people immediately change them. I'm the second some people there. Also, do you guys know the difference between a camera and a sock? I'll give you a minute. A camera takes photos, and a sock takes 5 toes. And my blade, it's kind of, I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but it's got a bunch of chips and shit taken out of the end of it. I've not been nice to it, but the cool thing about this knife, love this knife by the way, you can, the blades are in a magazine, so you push your blade out. On this side you push the release and you pop the blade out, then you can just flip it around just like that. Now it's brand new. And when you're done, I say I've only got 2 left, this holds 5. But when you're done, I've already got 5 more sitting down here. And I have another one of these magazines too. Stupid things that you didn't think you needed until you saw somebody else with them. Ta-da! Now, I run this clamp just to keep it all happy and in place and all that fancy shit. But you don't have to. You can just leave it as it was before with the just the bolt on the top holding it in place. But I like a little bit of extra security because I'm an idiot, and I've basically dropped the piece I was grounded to and had it rip the wire out of the back of my ground clamp, which is how this came into play, because that's just peace of mind. Works awesome, much better. Already built one, but I'm not going to show you because it's kind of ugly. But we'll take a pulley. Just, this tow truck had, the whole back of this truck was up, even with the fenders, with just random car parts from the guy that owned it before, and happened to have a couple pulleys, which is pretty nice actually. And we'll grab one of these out of the 302 and that one right there. Bring them over here. This is nasty. It's got to be cleaned up a little bit. So I'm going to put some gas in a bowl, and I'll just drop that in there for 20 minutes or so, just to eat all the grease up off of it. And I'll go round up the rest of my parts. But I'll show you guys where all the parts I got. In here, I have a bunch, like the timing chain. I've got the sprockets there. I have valve springs and push rods and all kinds of head parts. just random old tools. You can see I haven't cleaned. This is my dirty tote. This is my clean tote. There's really not as much stuff in this one, but there's some decent stuff in here. More valve springs. I got flat tab push rods, big block Chevy valves, hydraulics, little cam. We got, this was out of some girdles that I found. Rocker arms. What else we got here? Oh. Some spider gears out of my Jeep that have seen better days. Gotta dig these piston rings out, and I'm using the cutest little tiny pry bar ever. Look at it, it's tiny. But it works well for getting in here and digging these nasty oily rings out. See? Plus, it's got a magnet on the end of it, so you can't lose it. Can lose it. Makes it harder to lose, but trust me, you can do it. Now I just got half, or about a quarter of this one left, and it's stuck. Now I got a little carried away. Yeah, I've built a couple of things and tore them all apart and didn't like them, so we're back. So now I've got this flywheel that I cut almost in half. This is just over half. Got some valves, some spider gears, some push rods, some valve springs, a piston. I got more, but I only want to use one for now. Some lifters, a stand, a part of a wrench, crank cap, main cap, some chain, and a pulley. Real plan as to what the hell I'm doing here. Just kind of winging it. I'm putting a bunch of shit on here and taking it back off and looking and you know, I don't know. But check it out. Let's do some brainstorming here. So I kind of want to put my valves out here on the end like this, and then probably just drop these on, weld them in place, just for looks, you know. And these two I'm going to weld together for the 8, like the V8 logo, but I haven't decided if I'm going to do the other 2 valves for the V or some of these push rods for the V. Then I got to figure out a little pedestal right here in the center, because I'm going to put this piston up here like this somehow. Haven't decided yet how it's going to go. Maybe like this, kind of leaning back or forward. Yeah, leaning forward. But that's all I got. Here's what we got for now. Can't decide if it's done or not. I feel like I'm missing something on top of these deals. Also, I don't know why this thing only time-lapsed for 10 seconds. It's something I'm going to have to look into, because I haven't used time-lapse very much on this camera, so I don't really know too much about it, but I do know I need more than 10 seconds, or 10 minutes, which translates to 10 seconds. But yeah, I don't know if I need something else or if this is good enough for now. I mean, it's not very heavy yet, so maybe we should just keep adding goofy shit to it. I don't know. I've decided that that one's as complete as it's going to get. We moved on. Got another flywheel. I took and ground these rivets off. I left the rest of them because this is going to be the front of the trophy. So let's I'm not going to put you on time lapse because still haven't figured out why it only does it for 10 seconds. But I'll put you up on time, on 1-to-1 time, and I'll just speed up the video in post. So let's get to it. I want to put you guys any lower because I don't want to get slack on my very new, very expensive camera. So what we're going to do is just center, because I've already welded a sprocket to this smaller, or a chain to this smaller pulley. So now I'm going to just weld this pulley to the flywheel so it's got a little bit of depth in it. Kind of planned this one out a little bit, but not really, you know. And make sure your holes are kind of centered. Tap here. Now we've got a good base. And since this is a flux core welder, after every time I weld something together, I like to just knock all the slag away from it. Now I have to take this back apart. And I got to put all this back together the way I had it planned out before to see if I can duplicate it the way I have it planned in my head. Until we're doing some welding. Just set you guys back up over here. That's close enough. So, got these guys here, and then we're going to take some of the flat tap push rods, run them this way. Just to give it a nice wide look, you know, which I think looks all right so far. Got some more than girdles, got the main cap and these push rods here. Now I gotta think about the rest for a second. Hold on. This one is going to be the Showstopper award. So I'm using some brake shoes that are brand new, by the way. I think, yeah, like that. So we're good. This is how it's supposed to be. Now we take it all back apart. Clear down to here. Now that we're here, I'm gonna put you guys back up here on the pedestal. Stick it. Oh, now it's back. We're doing good. Pick up this little guy. a little bit closer to it. Now, you know what, the little guy or the big guy? I think the big guy would make more sense. We're going to put this little one up here on the top. There we go. Okay. Now, metal melter. Get a good weld up under here. Looking like something so far. Ow. Oh, my finger. Okay. Now we're doing the V shape here. Try to get them to where they look decent from the center up. So it's got to be aesthetically pleasing, you know. Roll it into that side right there a little bit. It's pretty good. I'm moving a little bit. I do believe we're going to stick that right there. Like that. Let's see. Yeah, like that. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but when you tack, you're supposed to stick both pieces of metal together. Doing all right so far. So to get some welds done on this side, and this one will be finito. Yeah, that'll do. So, what do you guys think? Big S, showstopper in their brake shoes, so it makes sense. Now, I'm going to clean it up, do a little bit of taping, knock all the slag off, and we're going to spray these boys down today. I need to do one more still, and it's going to be really goofy and kind of abstract or whatever you want to call it, but I'm not going to do that on camera because my battery's about dead and I don't want to go in the house to get another one. Time to paint them. I got one of these deals that locks into your sawzall. Just when you shake your paint up that aggressively, it sprays so much nicer and smoother. The thing was $30-something. I'll tell you what though, if you do a lot of spray paint, worth every penny. Absolutely worth it. It's time for the clear. Be back. One more. coolest thing about this paint is you can see it's almost like a bright silver, right? You spray a little bit of clear on it. And it dulls it down. See the difference between these two? The clear coat actually makes it look more like a gray. Which is what we're going for here. Is that nice gray, like brand new part look, you know? By the way, I could not be happier with my little titanium welder here. This thing is a perfect replacement for my Century. Probably a little bit better than my Century was so far. I'm completely happy with it. For, you know, 150 bucks, it's a fantastic welder. If you're a DIY guy or just a hobbyist, I highly recommend one. Definitely worth the money, worth the trip. Yeah. So, if you're still here, I appreciate you. Thank you for sticking around. Thanks for spending some time with me today. Hopefully, this was educational and entertaining, but it was probably not both. It's usually either one or the other, but hardly ever both. So remember, guys, your dreams aren't going to work unless you do, and unless you're willing to push your own boundaries of your comfort zone, you're never going to learn anything. So, you know, get out there and teach yourself something. Hell, watch YouTube and learn something. I don't know. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Love you. Bye.